Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and had a subscriber kind of start a conversation a few days ago, and I'm just now getting around to answering this. He basically was concerned that he has a drug test coming up for work, that he'd been taking a pre-workout and it might have whatever that DMAA, whatever that stimulant is called, that got banned. Is it going to make him fail a drug test? And obviously the answer to that one is no unless they test for it, but this is something that people need to think about. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. All right, guys, something I always try to tell people in this, you have to remember supplement companies have been caught repeatedly spiking various illegal drugs or quasi-legal drugs into products. It's happened a lot. In fact, I might even cover the potential for the BioGrow fiasco again today because we've got a lot of new subscribers in the last month or so. A lot of new viewers coming through. Maybe they aren't familiar with all of this stuff I covered way back a couple years ago. But, we can revisit that again. But the thing is, you guys have to be careful. If you're drug tested for sports or you're a high school athlete, you're trying to get a scholarship, the risk of taking supplements with the actual possible interference with you getting a scholarship, because you get popped for a stimulant or a banned stimulant, you get popped for steroids, something else, and you're in high school trying to get a scholarship, you're done. Your chance to get an education, to go to school, all of that is probably screwed. And it's all going to be because you took an over-the-counter product that you had hoped was legitimate, was going to help you either improve your performance, improve your energy, build muscle, burn fat, do something. You thought that's what it was going to do. And the reality is, if it's capable of doing any of those things, it's already a banned drug. Meaning anything that is proven to have anabolic effects, maybe short of creatine, and that's a whole different story, or burn fat at any appreciable rate, usually gets hit by the FDA as a drug, and they can't sell it as an over-the-counter supplement anymore. And that's something that people need to realize. When we're talking about these products working, you need to understand that if these products do work, and they're proven to work, they're going to be regulated. So that's the thing. You're generally using unproven products. Most of them don't work. And when they do get some that work, the FDA comes in and pulls them off the market, like ephedra. You guys remember the big ephedra thing from 20 years ago almost? Guess it is getting close to 20 years or 15. It was found in studies to be as effective of a fat burner as some of the prescription weight loss drugs that were being put out. Well, some people say, well, that's big pharma getting mad because an over-the-counter product's interfering. Yeah, but there's also the fact that the FDA has to regulate things like that. Meaning if a product works as good as a prescription drug for a medical purpose, in this case losing fat, losing weight, they have to regulate it. It's the way things are written. It's a drug. So yeah, they came in, they banned ephedra, and it was actually a pretty fantastic substance. It worked pretty well. It worked really well. A lot of people used it successfully. Even people who weren't serious workouts, people who weren't gym rats were using it. But the thing is, these products generally don't work. And so you have to understand is that you are taking risks sometimes with your future, your competitiveness in a sport, or even your job, because you're hoping that a company that's part of an extremely unethical industry might have some ethics. That's what you're banking on, and you're gambling on that. And that is the big concern, because even in like little natural men's fitness and everything else, guys have got popped and blamed their supplements. Pro athletes have blamed their supplements. You know what? In sports, they don't care, because their warning to athletes is, well, you should be careful of taking any supplements at all. It's not like they work. It's not like they do anything unless they're spiked with drugs. So why are you guys wasting your money and risking this? It's not a bad judgment call. Is not going to get you out of a failed drug test. You're still going to get your suspension. You're still going to get whatever pulled. It doesn't matter that this is an over-the-counter product. It still had it in there, and you still took a product knowing it's from a shady industry, knowing that people do spike stuff in these products, and so taking it, that's your own problem. They're not going to let you slide for that in a sport. And as far as jobs and everything go, we know steroids and stuff have been put in various supplements. Steroids have been put into protein powders. All right, this has happened. This has happened in the past. It's a cheap way to make a product seem really, really effective. You put an illegal substance in for a couple months, slip it in there. The product gets really good reviews from everyone. Everyone likes it. It works really well because you put a mild steroid in there or a mild stimulant or something that gives sometimes not even a mild one, gives a real effect. And then before the FDA jumps on it, you pull that out of the product. So you quit spiking the product, and then by then the product already has a reputation for working, and it keeps being sold. Now, that's well and good. People are like, well, that's cool. I get cheap drugs. Not really, because the company's getting them cheap enough to sell it and make a big profit. So you're not getting, $50 worth of a drug in your $50 tub. You might be getting $3 or $5 worth of a drug in a $50 tub. That's not a good bargain. Number two, you don't know what they're putting in it. You don't know what you're putting in your body when companies do this. Now, with the pre-workouts have been found in the past, some of them to contain various stimulants in there and meth analogs. So what happens when you're taking a pre-workout and you have a job that you want to keep, all right? Maybe you don't work at McDonald's. Maybe you do care about your job. It's not a minimum wage job, because you get fired from a minimum wage job, you can just go get another one. Not really a problem. Who cares, right? But what if it's a job you actually can't afford to lose? You go take these pre-workouts, they slip a meth analog in there. What happens when you come up positive for meth or some other street drug? What happens? Is your employer going to believe that it was in your pre-workout? And then your employer is going to say, why are you taking a bunch of pre-workouts with a bunch of stimulants in them before you come to work? How do we know how this is going to affect your behavior, your performance? What the hell are you doing? It's not like you're going to get off clean. You're not going to be able to just explain to your employer or HR, oh, that I took this over-the-counter product and tested positive for meth or tested positive for some stimulants. Do you think they're going to buy that? No, you could lose your job because of this. And here's the question, why? What do you stand to gain out of it? There is no research anywhere in the world that I've seen that shows that taking a pre-workout improves your performance or muscle gains in the long term. All right, a short-term workout, a single workout of having better energy, but also combined with worse recovery because they psych you up psychologically, reduces the rate, the frequency in which you can train with any intensity, has never been shown in any studies to be beneficial. And the question I would ask people, why do you need these pre-workouts? Because they become trendy, because you become addicted to them, because the industry convinced you to buy them. Some famous YouTuber convinced you to buy their pre-workout or some pre-workout that they use, and then you use it, and then when you don't have a stimulant like that in your system, you struggle to have good workouts again. Well, that's because it's become addictive to you in a way, at least in as far as your ability to have a good workout. So now you have to buy an overpriced product, and some of them could cost you a job. I mean, worst case scenario, yeah, you could come up positive on some drug test because of some silly ass over-the-counter pre-workout that you didn't even need. Here's the thing, if you don't have the energy to train the way that you're trying to train, and you're needing these products to come in and get a good workout, maybe there's something wrong with your training program. Maybe there's something wrong with your training program, because you know what? People have had no trouble for generations training to win the Super Bowl at the NFL, winning gold medals in the Olympics, becoming world-class level boxers, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. People have been doing this stuff before these products existed. People have trained really hard and become world-level champions in various sports that have a strength component, a speed component, even a muscle mass component. All right, people have successfully done this for generations without these products. Why are these other people able to train hard without them, but you seem to need them? It could be that your training program isn't written very well. It's not properly written to take into account different recovery curves, energy levels, everything else. Maybe you're on a bad program. All right, in a bad program, it's going to give you bad workouts. It might have workouts, a lot more workouts where you're going to be lethargic, tired, not able to push through them correctly because your program is poorly written. You let someone write a program for you who really doesn't understand the human body, the adaptation process, exercise science. It's a bad program. And so then you're needing an over-the-counter product to push through it. Get on a better program and you won't need the product. Get on a program that balances your recovery and frequency and workloads correctly. Then you won't need these products to come in and have good workouts. You know, when people take these products like this and take these different risks that they're taking an illegal drug, something that causes them to fail a drug test, for what? So that they can run a bad program? That's the only reason you should need these things. Your training programming isn't very good. So why take them? Why bother? It's not worth the risk, and that's what I would tell anybody. You cannot trust supplement companies based upon their history. You cannot trust them to be ethical. And if you honestly believe that they're going to sell products that do seem to work, and there's not a possibility they spiked it with something that isn't on that label, in which case you don't know what you're getting in your body, you don't know what it could do to your body, you don't know what it's going to do when you go to take a drug test for your high school sport, your college sport, your work. You don't know what risk you're taking there. You have no way to assess it. And you're doing it over products that are not proven to work, or in some cases have been shown not to work, yet they still keep selling them because of reputation. You're doing it all for that. Taking that risk for nothing. And if they do work, if there is a drug in that product, you got to think about economy of scale there. They're making a profit selling that drug because they're spiking it in there a hell of a lot cheaper than what they're selling the product for. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making millions of dollars. So it's not like you're even getting a good deal. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.